nuclear capacity because they've exploded a nuclear weapon twice. So it is demonstrated capacity. The question is the danger from North Korea and its nuclear program, which is what some people might think, or is the danger from the fact that if you have a nuclear North Korea, which has nuclear capacity plus missile capacity, that this becomes an immediate threat, not for South Korea, but for Japan. And if Japan feels threatened, Japan has 70 tons of plutonium in the country today. And if Japan feels threatened by a nuclear North Korea, then Japan will have to go nuclear. And if Japan goes nuclear, it changes the complete geopolitics of the world. And so my question to you is North Korean nuclear program dangerous because of North Korea, or is it dangerous because of its implications for a nuclear Japan?
We could have some more lively discussion on that very important topics in academia. But as ambassadors, I should make some very careful, response to your very interesting questions.
My job is to provoke you, and your job is to be cautious.
Yes, North Korean nuclear program is dangerous. If I give, some simple answers. There's many reasons, but I think the chain reaction is very important. So that's why I don't want to give any detailed definition what the chain reaction. What do we mean by chain reaction in this case?
That's fair.
Because I have to mention too many, tender point.
You never know how many Japanese may be sitting here.
Maybe even Taiwanese. So that's why we reached some agreement with North Korea, to denuclearize Korean peninsula as early as in 1992. But we abide. So we faithfully implement what we agreed upon. Even there's many process for the nuclear program, but we stopped from the burgeoning stages, including reprocessing or enrichment. We don't have any capacity, but North Korea did it. But if once North Korea broke our promise, South Korea might be more free in our future action. But we didn't do that because the denuclearization of Korean Peninsula is very important. Even though there are some fluctuation, in terms of their breaking the promise. But we have responsibility. We should have some responsibility to lead North Korea to our certain target. Nuclear-free Korea. Otherwise, we have some really serious, catastrophic, outcome as a result of chain reaction. Yes, so that's why we are pursuing a six-party talk, to stop or to contain any possible proliferation. The result of proliferation is really beyond description.
I think that's a fair answer. I have to ask you two more short questions before we open it to questions from the floor. The first question has come really from President Adams, who is asking what it sounds like a simple question. He says, what will the world look like 10 years from today? In other words, we have so many crises going on in the world. What is going to be the future of the world as these crises unfold, whether they are economic or whether they are social or whether they are philosophical or whether they are political? But you have a world which is bubbling like a pressure cooker with the lid off. How do you see the world 10 years from today?
Actually, 9 years ago, the International Society, or Human Society, celebrate a new millennium with great sense of hope for future century. But after this 9 years, almost 1 decade later, since that the celebration, our international community is faced with a serious crisis. Maybe so. People say that we are stand on precipices. So today happened to be, well, unfortunately, I'm facing with the almost the crisis facing the international society during my committee. Usually, the General Assembly of the United Nations has 6 committees. The second committee is dealing with issues, money-related issues, economy and finance, development, environment, and agriculture. Food issues. And so we have some special topics to be discussed. That issue. That is all of the list. So I myself was surprised how many crises we are dealing with now. So actually, there are some, even though there are some intervals, but roughly speaking, during the last 1 or 2 years, everything happened together. If you remember, the first signal was coming through the energy crisis with skyrocketing oil price. And then immediately it's followed by food crisis. And then there was some financial crisis. And then it was linked with it was exacerbated climate changes crisis. So the problem was that we have some there are many analyses on that on the cause and the reality of the newly emerging crisis. But we found some 4 or 5 common elements or lessons. The first thing is that these crises are intertwined. So maybe if I have another couple hours, maybe I could visit every corner. But just roughly speaking, it is intertwined. And thanks to the globalization phenomena, maybe there's some merit and demerit of globalization, but especially in this downturn period, the globalization exacerbated the situation in terms of timing. With some the machine speedway, and also in terms of the area of the of its influence. So globalization, thanks to globalization, it has some